All right, please welcome. This is Jessica Romero. She's the QA manager of company called.
Come on, you can do it. No, you can do it.
All right,
Try it.
Zagile.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I do. All right. So Jessica, we have like a couple questions. We want to know from your perspective as a QA manager, right? Those questions. So when you do hiring, what you're looking for in a candidate?
Should I use the
Yes,
mic?
please. Could you please?
Sure. All right, so that's a tough question. So recruiters, you guys know this is tough. It's hard to find the right person, but I can tell you what I look for. So I don't interview a typical way. Like I don't have a favorite question. I personally like to get to know the person I'm interviewing. Like, what are you guys looking for? I like to explain what I have, see if it's a good match, see if I could potentially, entice you with something that I need. Sometimes it's not the right thing. So maybe you're looking for something that I don't have, and I'll just be transparent. Like, I know you might not be happy because, this is what we do and this is where we're headed and we're not in alignment. So what I can tell you about my hiring techniques is networking is huge. So I can't tell you how many times I haven't posted anything or I haven't gone through a recruiter. I just reach out to the people that I trust. I'm like, hey, do you know anybody? And I trust that they're going to give me the right people because I know who they are. So for my last company, I've been there 8 months and everyone I've hired has been through my network, every single one. I'm growing right now. And so I'm trying to grow my network. I have 5 positions open right now. So I've kind of tapped out my network at this point, but I like to get to know people. Yeah. Exactual. So we can get into details on it later, but I want to stick to the question. So yeah, it's a lot of just networking. Are we going to be able to work well together? Am I going to like working with you? Are you going to like working with me? Every manager has a different type of style. Some are very micromanagey. Some are like, I need people to just run off and be able to take the requirements and just finish what I need to. So it really just depends on the connection. So I don't have a favorite question. I just like to get to know people.
So you still have some set of questions, right? Do you have any like in your radar, like some basic one, or maybe some
honestly, just like, what do you like to work on? What's your favorite thing that you like to do? Some people like to write documentation. Some people like to break stuff. Some people are really good at that. Some people like to code. They want to mainly code. Some people are really good at writing test cases. Some are really good at leading teams. So that's my question. Like, right. What do you like to do?
Fair enough. So the next one will be, let's pretend that the candidate passed the phone interview, passed the phone screening, recruiters, right? And he got into the face-to-face. You do interview with him. And all of a sudden, there is some red flags coming up, right? And could you tell, like, no go, what is this? Like, what are you not looking for in a person?
So for me, it's about integrity. So automatic red flag is if you tell me you're good at something or you work on something a lot, and then I ask you about it and you really can't speak to it, that's a red flag to me. I don't really care if you don't know that stuff. I'm looking for people with integrity because we're going to be out in the middle of releases and I don't want people to like cover up their mistakes. Like, okay, I made a mistake. We got to fix this as a team. It's not, I've had people try to bury stuff and it's way more of a headache for me and the team. So I've had people wipe out databases. I've had lots of crazy stuff happen. The sooner you can get to me and say, hey, I did this. All right, we're human. We make mistakes. Let's fix it. So integrity is huge.
Awesome. And the last one, like, what are you looking for in the resume? Let's say someone give you some referral and he say like, hey, he was a good person, check his resume. And you looking at his resume and what kind of maybe bullets or whatever, like, what are you looking for in the resume? What's the band probably, maybe some, can you give us some tips and tips on
Sure. So, like I said, I don't follow a lot of the rules that you guys hear about. So I'm not to the whole one pager type thing. I actually like seeing what people have done. Like my resume is probably 3 pages long, and people actually go back and say, all right, well, what was the history of this person? Like, where did they start and how did they get here? Like, what kinds of stuff did they work on? So, you know, I'm different, but I like to see what people have done. Because I don't want to spend my whole interview and say, hey, what did you work on? Like, it's nice to just read it and I can ask what I need to. But I do like resumes that really talk about what people have contributed and what they've done. Like, don't say that you just wrote test cases and that you've automated this. It's like, what problem did you solve? Like, my resume is all about solving problems. So I want to hire people that solve problems. So if you have that, yeah, it really stands out to me. If you're just saying you have test cases, this type of stuff, a lot of people have that. Just be aware. I've seen a lot of that. So I kind of just feel like, all right, well, what makes you stand out? Like, so
Awesome.
I think that's it.
I mean, thank you very much. Do you guys have any questions?
I do. Thank you, Jessica. I have a question for you and for
Trayvon.
guys with the class. So, all right. So imagine the situation, you have two candidates, right? The more experience is the same, is good. But one of them has corresponding required computer science degree, and the other doesn't have it, but has, let's say, Java professional certificates, AWS certificates, all the products that you use. So you have opportunity to invite all of them. Who do you invite and why?
AWS, recent certifications,
All right.
every time, every way. Oh, go ahead.
So rephrasing the question is, would you invite person with a computer science degree, right? Versus to a person who has certificates like Java, AWS. So this question.
Right.
Yep. So they made it. They both made it, and I got 2 qualified candidates. And I'm going to say the certified person because it shows me that 1, they're keeping on top of their skills. 2, if my company is using those technologies, you've invested the time yourself to kind of learn that stuff and to become proficient. And yeah, for my team, it's all about learning. So I'm going to go for the person with like the Scrum Master certification. AWS is big, Jenkins certifications, everything that Trayvon said, dead on, every single one of them. QA is such a dynamic role. You kind of have to do everything. So yeah, I don't really like to hear when developers like say that QA people aren't technical, like beyond technical. Like you have to be able to communicate well, document well, program, got to do it all. So it's worth it to get those certifications. Those stand out to me.
Trayvon.
Yeah, that's what I like about this field. It's so dynamic. You get exposure to the full life cycle. It needs to be so well-rounded, right? That's what I admire the most. But I agree. I think that fundamental bachelor's degree backgrounds are starting to get a little outdated. I actually pitched it on LinkedIn to a couple QA leaders that I know to see what their thoughts are on bachelor's degrees from 10 years ago, what have you. I don't think companies are going with that anymore. They want to see the proactiveness, how you stay fresh, and even to the, I know I sometimes look for what you're doing at home. How are you automating things in your own personal level? You just want to see what that problem-solving mindset is and how proactive you are. So, yes, the education is important for education, but really have to be on top of it. Even if this is your 8th meetup this year, make sure that's
All right. So Trayvon just agreed with Jason, basically.
So what about another scenario, let's say education versus like hands-on experience?
So one,
Let me rephrase the question. Dennis was asking like education, formal education probably, right? Versus to real working experience.
Let's say you're hiring an automation person with a, I don't know, UCLA education, right? Computer science degree, or maybe like 2 years of real experience in the field.
Well, that's going to come down to, I guess, the interaction with the person. So I think they would both be qualified for an interview. But so I have a computer engineering degree from UC Santa Barbara. I know how rigorous those programs are. It's hard. So I know what those people go to. I also know what the industry's like. It's completely different. So it would depend what they're working on. But yeah, it wouldn't be just like a straight answer. It would depend on what they're working on. So if you have a degree and you just stop working in that field or working on projects, well, you might become outdated pretty quickly. But if you're still keeping up with your skills, then yeah. But I don't have that problem right now. I have 5 positions open, so.
So both will qualify.
I have a question.
What resume layouts that are beneficial are total non-sync? What is the goodness that you're not sure about?
I don't care when you graduated. I don't think anyone should put that. Your address really shouldn't be on there. So just, I read all these articles like you guys on how to write resumes. You know, I'm out there too. You know, I've been recruited. I've applied for jobs and didn't get them. So I've read things where you just don't want to put that stuff. Sometimes people won't hire you because you're too far. I don't think that's right, but people are human. So keep anything that can possibly discriminate against you at all on your resume, off your resume. But I would always put your summary at the top. You know, the technologies that you know, because I love to see that. I don't want to have to dig through your whole resume to figure out that you know how to program in Java, Python, you've worked with Jenkins, that type of stuff. It's nice to see it all up front at the top.
I have a last question. What do you think about ISTQB certificate? Is it useful or it's?
All right, so I can only speak for myself. I know my CTO has that, and he always talks about it. I don't look at that at all.
That's why.
For me, I'm more interested if people understand Scrum, the Scrum process. Certified Scrum Master actually is more helpful to me because a lot of my QA people actually act as the Scrum Master for some of our teams. So I think that's more useful,
All right.
at least from my point of view.
All right, Jessica. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think that was very, very useful and interesting.